Hey people, Demon here, and today I am reviewing Superman Red Sun. So this movie is basically a version of, well, it's a movie that's based on a comic book called Superman the Red Sun. It's not exactly like the comic book, by the way. I'm going to do no spoilers first, then spoilers, just in case you're wondering, so don't worry, I'm not going to spoil you right now. But basically, it's about a comic book where Superman went to Russia and became a communist, okay? And then crazy stuff happens. Some crazy stuff. Some crazy shit. um so basically, the comic, by the way, is way crazier than this movie. If you want to see like the original, go look at the comic book, okay? I think it's a few issues if I'm not mistaken, or maybe they have it in one issue. I don't know. But it's way crazy. It has some time travel in there, and it's like totally different. It's like whoa. Not everything's totally different, but a lot of things it's like whoa. But anyways, this movie was actually pretty good. I will admit it was pretty good. It was pretty fun to watch. It was same animation style as usual for the DC movie universe. Pretty similar animation style since from what they've been doing. It was pretty good. The voice actors were pretty good. They had Russian accents. I guess technically they should be speaking Russian, but you know, since it's like, hey, you want to do it in like in English speaking countries, so like English, they'll have Russian accents. A little bit weird, but whatever. It's pretty cool still. Um, the only thing I didn't like about the voice acting was Lex Luthor. It was a little bit weird. It sounded more like a. He almost sounded like a Batman figure, or like a. He just sounded weird to me. It didn't sound like Lex Luthor. But yeah, it was pretty good voice acting. It's not to say it's not good voice acting. It's just to say it was like weird to be in Lex Luthor. But this Lex Luthor is actually a good guy. So, although he's kind of an evil guy, and I'll explain that in the spoiler section. So basically, uh, it was good. It was a good movie, and if I were to rate it 1 to 10, one being the lead, one being like the horriblest, five being average, 10 being the best, I would say it's like a seven. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it. It wasn't like the best, but I enjoyed it a lot. Compared to the comic, it was the comic's slightly better in my opinion because there's a lot more crazy shit in the comic, but it was good nonetheless. So I would say go check this movie out, and it was good. It was a very good movie. Okay, that's all I can say without spoiling it. By the way, I can just say it's good. It has a good ending, and it's just like pretty good. But okay, now I'm gonna spoil it, so beware. Okay, so basically, Superman becomes a communist because he landed on the Russian soil, and to be honest, let's be honest here. If Superman landed on any government soil and the government knew about it, there'd be like one out of three things that happens to him, okay? First off, he'd be turned to a lab rat, okay? That'd be the first one. Second one, a weapon. Third one, both. Because it's fucking crazy. But yeah, like if Superman landed any government, that's what would happen. And they knew about him when he was a child, that would definitely happen. But luckily that didn't happen, and they didn't know about him until he got his powers. Well, I guess technically it did happen, but when he told the government, they're like, "Oh, cool, we're gonna use you as like a weapon, pretty much, as a deterrent." So he basically becomes a communist and helps the communist government until he figures out the communist government is all sorts of fucked up because they do some horrible shit. Because he goes to America and talks to Lois Lane, who is Lex Luthor's wife, by the way. And she's basically just like, hey, do you know about this shit about your government? Like, he's like, listen, your government's fucked up. It does all this shit. It's like all this and all bad and stuff like that. Which is technically true. Because every government in the whole entire world has bad things about it. And most governments kind of corrupt, most of them. And that includes the communist governments, and that includes like the American government, the Canadian government, like all the governments are pretty much really fucked up and all corrupt. And there is ways to fix it, but no one wants to do it because they're too corrupt. There's only a few people that do. Naming one off the top of my head, like Bernie Sanders. But most people don't want to do it because the majority of governments around the world are all fucked up and all like fucking like it's full of corruption and shit like that. It's crazy. There is ways to fix it, like capitalism and obviously democratic, like obviously like electing people and stuff like that. Like you'd have to get money out of politics, and you'd have to give people a living wage, and you'd have to give homeless people a chance to actually get a job, and a bunch of shit. I'm not going to get into some political talk. There is ways to fix it, but most governments don't fix it because, again, they're corrupt. Massively corrupt. And that shows it here in this dimension as well, that the government is massively corrupt because Stalin is on top, and he becomes massively corrupt because he has like this mindset where he's just like, hey, I have all this power, and power corrupts people. So he becomes massively corrupt, and then Superman basically kills him and becomes the ruler, and he tries to make the world better, and in the end he can't really make it better because he also becomes corrupt. He's an alien that's not supposed to be corrupt and stuff like that, but he actually becomes slightly corrupt in a sense. What is that sense? Basically, he just takes over people. He kills people that he has to kill. He takes people and basically brainwashes them to become good citizens. It's kind of fucked up. Basically, Superman isn't like, oh, I'm going to murder everybody. No, he's just like, no, I'm going to brainwash you and you're going to be a good member of society, which is fucked up. So his version of society is fucked up. Another thing that changed about the comic books was that, well, the thing I noticed the most, well, one of them, was that Wonder Woman was not in love with Superman, because in the comic books she was in love with him until like she broke her lasso for him, and then it kind of led to like her trying to stop him. And also at the end, Superman saves the day. He pretends to die, but in the comic books he does the exact same thing, but in the end it's actually revealed that it's like a time loop. Basically, when the world's dying from the red sun at the very end of humanity, they send a baby that goes through time, and it's Superman. It's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. So Superman is literally a human, just a future human that has powers from the yellow sun, because in the future the sun turns red, even though technically it wouldn't really matter if the sun was red or yellow, because none of that matters to anything, but whatever. It's a comic book, and it's a cartoon, guys. It's a movie. Not reality. But yeah, like, all this stuff happens, and Superman at the end realizes that he was wrong and pretends to die. We get to see him at the end. And it was actually really cool, and just cool to see that. Probably the coolest part was Batman, and one of the most ruthless Batmans you ever see. Like, he just kills people without regard, and at the end, he fucking kicks Superman's ass. It's awesome. It's just like, oh, Superman, you think you're tough? Well, guess what? Without all this shit, you're nothing. I'm gonna fucking kick your ass. And he kicks Superman's ass, and Batman could have killed him, but he chose to lock him up, which then Wonder Woman saves him, as I already previously said. She saves him, which is one of the reasons why she kind of hated him at the end. And then Batman kills himself because Superman's just like, oh, I'm going to make you into my obedient little puppet. And he's just like, nope, I'm going to die. So he kills himself, and it's pretty cool. In the comics, it was pretty cool, and in this, it's pretty cool as well. Just seeing Superman get his ass kicked by Batman, that's fucking awesome. And if Batman decided to bring a knife or something like that, or a gun, and kill the guy, he could have, but he did not. But it's awesome. It's awesome. Um, and there's some political commentary in there too, like, oh, like to have like a perfect society, you have to have like people like brainwashed pretty much, and then like other societies, like a capitalistic society, it's gonna fall at the end, which can be true but cannot be true at the same time. As again, I already said, like there's ways to fix that, like livable minimum wage and like other things like, hey, pay your fair share of taxes and stuff like that. Not gonna get into the political talk. But yeah, like all governments just have fucked up things. But all in all, it was a pretty good movie and I enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell notification. That's the best way to keep up my channel. Link down below to my Twitter. And as always, my friends, stay sane. Peace. Superman. Pretty good movie.
I will eat you, and you will be in my belly. You will be the 18th, or perhaps it will be the first. I don't know. But all I know is that it's delicious to eat.